by another stylish pair of hosts. Well, one of them is stylish. The other one came here from the golf course or something. It's Kris Corey, Kris Dobson from across the line. New season starts on Tuesday for the show. Yeah.
Pumped.
I'm fired up. And
Really
I don't know if you've seen it or not. This guy's golf game's unbelievable.
I believe it.
Unbelievable.
I believe it.
Happy Gilmore over here.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. But yeah, no, super fired up, man. Tuesday, we're back in studio.
It's going to be great.
And even Thursday.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And I know we were going to kind of save that for a little later, but because Kris got a little premature here and fired off, I mean, let's talk about it.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Week coming up.
Yes. So yeah, no, we've got so Kris and I are actually going to be heading into Harbor Station live right before the banner raising at Harbor Station as St. John Sea Dogs kick off their season. And of course, we're fired up to do that. We're going to be doing a little traveling this year. I mean, nothing too crazy so far. We've got a couple trips in the works, we'll say. We're going to try to do some live stuff just from all over the province this year. I think it'll be a lot of fun. But as far as studio goes, yeah, Tuesday we will be back here live on Rogers TV from 8 till 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be sure to check it out. And, traveling. It's New Brunswick Sports Show. It's natural fit.
Well, I mean, when you got a celebrity like this guy here, I mean, everywhere he goes, he's rolling now. We were at the Brewer fight. We were at Brewer's fight at the Aiken
Which
Center.
again, by the way, best wishes for Brandon Brewer, who's going to run a gym now.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
And from a promotion standpoint too, he's got his first MMA event coming up too, and I saw that the card's gonna be pretty sick for that. But we were at that last Brewer fight when he was in there fighting King Davidson in Fredericton at the Aiken Center. And like 3 or 4 people, like this woman came up and everybody knew Kris. It's like basically I was just kind of there. And people recognized Kris and they loved it. They loved you. Loved you.
To put it in perspective, I went to UNB, worked at Dolan's, and was somewhat
as the bouncer bartender, obviously.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
You knew a few people. It's still great to see people when you go back there. We tried to do a couple trips. We went up to catch UNB basketball during the winter. We're going to do that again this year.
There's the game coming up tomorrow night. The Wildcats and the Sea Dogs as well.
Where ironically, I found out 10 minutes ago that we were in the works for. Kris and I will be up there as well together. Kris will be hosting the show. I'll be up there working with Aaron Kennedy, of course. Really excited to be covering the Q season, which is just around the corner.
Yeah, Aaron Kennedy, legend in St. John. Jerry Green here, and Craig
boys.
Eagles, and the boys.
Yeah.
Everybody all together. Yeah, Aaron Kennedy is one of a kind.
Oh.
Jerry's great too.
They're all great.
And Peter too. I mean, we can't ignore Peter.
Absolutely. We've had a great chance. We talked to Peter at the draft, and as well, he showed up in studio before one of our last broadcasts, and he was fired up. He's like, "You and Kris got to come up to the Casey Irving Regional Center there, and we'll do a show. We'll do a show. You can call me anytime. Call me anytime." So Peter, if you're watching,
we're coming.
We're coming. We're coming. We're coming. And we're live on Tuesday, so feel free to call in. We'd love to have some chats with you over the air.
It'd be awesome.
It's actually funny, like you said, Jerry in Miramichi and Peter in Bathurst. Lots of old-time hockey this weekend. We were talking some old Miramichi senior hockey with the Chaleur Alpines and the Miramichi Tim Horton Leafs. Talking about some of the old Donnybrooks they used to have up there. Obviously with Hoppy Dunn hopping on the ice and trying to fight everybody. So some great legends out of both cities.
And then hopping behind the mic and talking about everybody fighting everybody else too.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's you talk to Craig Eagles, and Hoppy Dunn's the reason why Craig Eagles got into it.
Well, I mean, the absolute legend up on the river, right? That's
absolutely.
His legend lives on definitely up Newcastle way.
Well, it's funny you talk about Hoppy, and my father-in-law in his office, he's got a picture of Babe Ruth, and he's got a picture of like a bunch of legends, and a bunch of kids came into his insurance office, and he was talking to them, and they're like, "Who's that?" My father was like, "That's Hoppy Dunn." You know that Hoppy Dunn.
Well, the story where he comes out of the broadcast booth, jumps on the ice, Jerry Fleming's fighting Link Gates from Miramichi, and Hoppy's trying to defend the honor. Link's taking a few from Jerry, so Jerry just tuned him. And Hoppy wiped out on the ice and gets back up and calls the rest of the game. So
absolutely was a legend up there. And I mean, this is the kind of topics you get from across the line. This is the kind of knowledge that these two hosts have that you can see every Tuesday night, and traveling all around the province for all the exciting actions going on this winter.
As you mentioned, we are traveling so far 300 times more than we traveled last year.
300%.
300% more.
Yeah. So we're up there, but yeah, no. Ultimately, we're fired up. Our first guest, we're really excited. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but I will. I mean, it's not confirmed, but it's pretty much done. We're gonna be sitting down with Jacob Peltier of the Moncton Wildcats. I know, obviously, with the Wildcats coming into a big season this year, after the abysmal season that was last year for Roger Shannon, Darren Rumble, and the crew. You know, the draft was exciting for them. They made some big moves in the offseason. Mike, you and I were talking about it. You know, they acquired Anderson McDonald. You know, the team is this is the biggest Wildcat roster I think I've seen them ice in a long time. They're very physical. They're huge. So I'm excited to have Jacob on the show.
They've definitely added some size, obviously, but like you said, a lot of moves free agency-wise since the draft. So a lot to discuss on a big turnover in the roster from last year as well.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of controversy as well, Chris. I mean, the Ivanov situation that took place, he was here, then he was home, then he's not coming, and then he signed a deal at KHL, which no one seems to know. And then, of course, you know, you even look at the drafts themselves. You know, they picked up, you know, Jackson Bellamy. Great kid. We had him on our show last year.
From St. John.
From St. John.
From St. John.
Another fun moment that we had out of the Boston Pizza folks when they pulled us aside, talked. They were big fans of Jackson. Pulled Chris and I. They're like, we love your show. We love it. You know, we're rooting for Jackson, the Wildcats now. And we're like, you know, but Jackson's a great kid, and he's going to be a great presence on the ice. And, you know, if you're Roger Shannon and Richie Tebow and even Daryl Young, Darren Rumble, all those guys, you know, like, it's going to be a fun year for Moncton Wildcat fans. And, you know, as you said, too, before we went live, Mike, you know, we're looking forward to it. And you're saying this not as a fan of the team, but you're excited to see what's going to be on the ice.
It's going to be great hockey.
I think it's going to be a big year, too, for the fans up in Bathurst.
Absolutely.
He's going to have a solid team on the ice, and plus they have Rogers Hometown Hockey coming in the new year, so going to be a couple big events up on the North Shore.
Will we be there during the Rogers Hometown Hockey?
Well,
maybe.
I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe.
We'll see. You've kind of winged it one way because you said Jake Pelti's going to be on the show without being confirmed, which means he's going to be on the show because you said
pressure, Jake.
It's on TV now.
Pressure,
we have record of it. It's on TV now. He's got to show.
He goes back to Russia.
That's the Ivanov situation. I mean, we can talk other sports too. Fisher Cats playing literally right
tonight.
now,
as
we film. You know, of course, this airs at 10 o'clock tonight, but we tape it before, so they are playing right now against Chatham.
I may be heading there from the studio.
You look dressed to do it.
I'm going to chase down a couple foul balls.
It's not a bad idea.
Get
yourself some Skittles.
Yeah. Ooh. Hey, baby.
Got to do what you got to do. But Fisher Cats, hey, they made the finals last year in around the same position they were in last year. They still look great against Chatham. They got the big win.
Yeah. Like I said, Chatham's really got solid pitching. I was able to see a couple games this year. Like I said, I mean, some standouts for Moncton. Obviously, Sammy Lund, going to be going on the mound here this series. So great to see him pitch, and Justin Cormier as well. Obviously, logging some big innings for the Fisher Cats on the mound.
And speaking more of local sports, I mean, the Moncton Magic coming back in the new year, which will be
super
on their way there.
I was a little
with new ownership, like you said, and that's a serious ownership.
And the biggest part is new local ownership too.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's people who are in the community, they know the community, because that was the biggest thing that I found when talking Miracles when they first came here was that there was kind of a disconnect between the organization in a way and the community, and how this worked in other places, but did it necessarily work here? And it didn't necessarily feed into the Moncton market, which it's not necessarily a unique market, but people like certain conventions here, and I think that the ownership group that's in there now really understands this Moncton market, and I think that's the biggest key.
Well, if you look at the Moncton Miracles per se, the team that was there versus the team that left the ice. In fact, the NBL is a league in general. Let's go there for a second. I know we've only got a little less than 3 minutes here, but the league kind of took a hit during that final that took place. I mean, there was a lot of damage control that took place between Halifax and London, I think.
Yeah, that was a brawl that broke 2 years ago. They had a brawl that broke out in
Game 7, the morning of.
The morning of Game 7, they ended up canceling it.
And Halifax didn't tell anybody, but they put everybody on a plane and flew home. Fans showed up to the building. So the league, the new commissioner had some serious damage control to put together. The only thing, that from a league standpoint, back to the Moncton Magic situation, is yes, I'm excited they're coming. We were a big fan of Coach McKeskey, so it's unfortunate that he's not going to be behind the bench, but I do understand why. But ultimately,
they also have a good pro now, Joe Salerno, who's coming.
Absolutely,
as well, so
absolutely.
You replace quality with quality.
And that's it. But the Magic had to do that. They had to basically wipe the slate clean, start from scratch. Basically, I was surprised by the name change of the Moncton Magic. Again,
I think was needed though. Basically,
absolutely. I just have Magic in general. But either way, I think it's great. I'm really excited. I love the NBL. I always have a great time. Every time Chris and I are there, we have a blast.
Yeah, and like I said, really excited for that to get started up as well. And like I said, having that local ownership who really have the financial capabilities to put together a winning product on the floor for the local market is going to be a big.
And that is the biggest thing, is the support. And to have the local support, it's huge. We got about a minute and a half. So if we're going to open up the show on Tuesday, one prediction for Moncton sports this year. Either one of you can start, but it could be hockey, baseball, basketball, whatever. One prediction for any of the local teams.
I'm going to give a quick shout out, and I'm going to go off the board on this one.
All right.
Big shout out to Marcus Burke. honestly, his wrestling promo that he's shooting right now, like the wedding one that he's doing. Him and Em are getting married. And,
October 5th in Coverdale, if you need to be there.
That's my big prediction. It's going to be a lot of fun. I saw the bridesmaid in a dress match. That's coming up. Like, I'm fired up. Either way, it's going to be a big blast.
All right, Kris Corey, you got about 50 seconds.
I'll say the midget AAA Flyers win another
good pick.
Midget AAA championship.
DeCourcy's been unreal there.
I know
program.
We have no time. I want to say thank you for having us, and also check us out on Facebook, Across the Line, and on Twitter, Across the Line MB.
Yeah, please do. And we shared the post that was there too, so you can check it out.
We appreciate it.
You tag me in there too. If you want to see me on Facebook, I'm there too.
Well, we'll have you on the show, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure. I'm looking very much forward to it. New season opened up Tuesday, Across the Line. Be sure to check it out from 8 to 9 on Tuesdays throughout that winter sports season. Dobson, Kris Corey, thank you so much for joining us. We are looking forward throughout the year.